Hi everyone, it's time for another Monday Musings video. It's actually Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow I have an art meeting in the morning that takes up the entire morning, and then I go to work straight from there, so I don't have any time at home tomorrow, so we're doing the video today on Sunday. And I wanted to share with you what I've been doing all weekend. I've been making some ATCs. Many of you know that I am a decorative artist first, and then new to the world of paper crafting by only about a year or two. My good buddy Donna Harcourt introduced me to this world, and I just love it. So one of my favorite things to do is to mix my love of painting with my newfound love of paper crafting. So this is what I've done for these ATCs. These 4 were painted the decorative painting style, and then I added some charms to them. Show you this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And then I also added some stickles. There's a bunch of stickles sitting here, and I used probably about 20 colors. I know I used all of these, and I may have used 4 or 5 others. I've got regular stickles and fruit punch and eucalyptus, and hang on, there's another cool waterfall that I used. And then I've got some distressed stickles and scattered straw and fired brick, rusty hinge, shabby shutters, and then some just normal colors like yellow. Oh, here's tropical tangerine. And let's see. Then I've got some some liquid pearls that I used in peacock and key lime for embellishments. And then I also used my perfect pearl sprays. I used heirloom gold, interference red, sour apple, pink gumball, and turquoise. And I used a starfish tattered angels glimmer mist. The rest of these were done with some stencils and then embellished, but I did use paint. And the paint that I use, that is my go-to paint, and I use 95% of the time. The only time I don't use it is when I'm working in oils or watercolor, is the Deco Art Traditions paint. And it's a resin-based acrylic. It's an artist grade, and is priced by pigment, and is the best value you can get for any acrylic on the market. I've been using this exclusively for 5 years and will never go back to any other brand. So I wanted to share that with you. Let me give you show you the stencils I used. I got these from Patty Rollinson at www.creativelifestyle.com. I'll put this on the blog so that I make sure I get the right address. And what these stencils are, let me put it up against the black so that you can see, is that it shows an outline here, and then it shows another overlay so that you can come in and change your color for the edges. Like these 2 butterflies go together. Let's see. This one goes together. And then I bought a set of 4. And there is the hibiscus on this one with another set of butterflies. And they're in several different sizes. Here's some more kinds of butterflies, and there's the daffodil. And some more butterflies and flowers. So what I wanted to do is go through with you. And then the brass charms I got from Drew, and I also got from CD Cover Distributing Company. So you can get those, in lots of different places. And then the rhinestones are just from that 5-pound bag that I bought on 40% off coupon at Joann's several months ago, that I haven't even begun to make a dent in. So let's make an ATC. I wanted to make one with you. So this is my chipboard. This is the back side of a tablet of palette paper, and I save all of these things, and they do double and triple duty for me. So first of all, I started out with just a piece of manila cardstock, and then I painted it black, and this one is already done that we'll work on, but I wanted to show you the really super coverage for the DecoArt Traditions paints. So let me put some of that out on my palette. And my palette is, it's sort of like butcher paper. It is a staple in the decorative painting, on your decorative painting art table. Comes in many brands. You can get it in many different places, including your local big box store like Michael's or something. So I'm going to cover this very light color in one really quick coat of the Traditions brand paint. I used a very, very small pile. I used a brush and a half full, and it's covered. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to use the one that I already made for you on both sides. It's already dry on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to mix some colors. I'm going to use aquamarine, this color, and I'm using Hansa Yellow Light, this color. It's a yellow that leans to the green side of the color wheel. I'm using my black and a little bit of white. Okay, so I'm going to put these out on my palette. And you know, a lot of times people don't want to get into a new line of paint because they don't want to buy, you know, all of the different colors and stuff. But with the DecoArt Traditions, you don't have to do that because you can mix your own colors. These are by pigment only. And let me grab, that white isn't open, let me grab one that is. Okay, got one that's almost empty. So I'm going to put it out here. I'm going to show you my palette in just a second. Okay, here's my palette. I'm going to use a palette knife to mix. And I'm going to mix, I'm going to make a green by using some black. It's a little bit too much black. And some of my Hansa Yellow Light. Carbon black is a blue-based black. And when you combine yellow and blue, you get green. Because the black pigment is there, you're going to get a very, very toned down avocado green. Okay, so that's what I've got. See that? Now I want to change this green, so I'm going to pull off some of that, and I'm going to mix some white in with it. Then I change the value of my green. It's still that nice toned avocado green, but now I've got a very bright green. A very light green. Let's change that some more. I'm going to take my aquamarine and I'm going to add my darker green to it. So now I've got a turquoise that leans green. So you see how you can change things very quickly with some very small puddles of paint. Okay, so now I'm going to make one more color here. I'm going to go back to my Hansa Yellow Light, and I'm going to mix it with my aquamarine, and voila, a very tropical lime green. How fun, huh? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 colors that I started with, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors. Okay, so let's play. I'm going to keep losing my little ATC here underneath my palette. Okay, let's go on this side where I don't have the marks. Although it's really fun. I was using this yesterday to make my ATCs, and I just love this, and I'm going to make a page out of this for mixed media. I'm going to put some spray inks or some distress inks on here and work with this pattern that I made from yesterday. So I'm going to do the hibiscus. Let me find that stencil again. Okay. Now, we recommend that when you first get some stencils that you use tack it over and over to put on the back of your stencils. I don't have that on mine right now, so I'm just going to hold it and then I'm going to hold down. Now, what I could also do is use some repositionable glue and stuff. But I think it'll be okay. I don't want to get it stuck on my cardboard here, so I think it'll be okay if I just hold it down. So then I'm going to pick up, I've got several stencil brushes, and those are just brushes that are very dense and very thick that you can pounce with. And let's see, make sure that I have several out here that I want to use. There's another one. So, okay. I'm going to start with one of my smaller ones. And the first thing I'm going to do, let me set that again so that I'm on the card and not off. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my aquamarine that I made with the light green. I'm going into this pile right here. I don't want the toned one on this. I want the color to pop on the black. And what I do is I put my brush into the puddle and then I pounce it off until it's nearly dry. And I can do that on this slick paper, but I can also do it on my paper towel, my shop towels. And then I come in here and I pounce. And you want to make sure that you have all of that wet paint off of your brush, because you do not want anything to slide underneath. And as I go over here and reload, I'm also pouncing off before I come back to the card. Now, I'm working on black, so it takes several pounces to cover it. I'm still working with the Traditions that has such good coverage, but I'm also pouncing on the end of a brush. So there's a difference between a stroke and a pounce. Okay? So I'm pouncing. It's better to go 2 or 3 light coats than to go on one heavy. And you hear me pouncing over here on the side, and then risk the paint sliding up underneath your stencil and ruining your design. Here's where the tack it over and over comes in, because if I had this on the back, then I wouldn't have to pay so much attention to keeping it straight on my design, because it would be stuck down there anyway. So if you do that, then you save yourself some work. Okay, so almost finished. Let me come back over here where I first started. Alright, now you want to lift your stencil straight up. Isn't that really pretty? Especially up against that black background. Okay, now I want to add some dimension to this. So I'm going to put it back down. Ideally, when you're doing this yourself, don't pick it up to look at it. Just keep it there, because it's difficult to get it back to the same spot, and I think I'm pretty close. Sometimes pretty close will ruin it, sometimes not. I'm not going to rinse my brush. I'm keeping that color in there. Now I'm going to this bright green. Coming over here, get in the puddle, pounce it off on my palette. You can see me do that to get the excess paint out. Now I'm going to come back in and I'm just going to concentrate towards the centers. And because my paint is still fairly wet, it'll blend quite nicely into, these colors will blend quite nicely into each other. It's one nice thing also about the Traditions paint, it gives you a lot longer open time. Okay, so then I'm going to kind of wipe this excess paint out of my brush, and then I'm going to come along here and just pounce back and forth where the two colors meet to help with that blending. They blend into each other. I'm going to lift it up, and voila, you have a two-toned hibiscus, and I think those colors just really pop on that black. I just absolutely love those colors together. So this is fun. This is fun to do. So let's see. I want to put, I'm kind of trying to duplicate that other ATC that I made. Find it. I've lost it. Hold on. Let's find it. Okay. Gotta be here somewhere. So let's just wing it. Can't figure out where I put it. Probably under my palette. Doesn't matter. Let's just put a butterfly on. So I'm going to put, well, see, I've already got black, so I could put, let me get the other stencil. I want to find a small enough butterfly. Okay, here it is. So since I already have black, I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to go to my toned turquoise this time. This one right here. Bounce off. Again, I have not washed my brush because all of these colors are related. So I'm going to pounce this color on for my base color for my butterfly. Okay, let's remove that, and I want to give that just a second to dry. And the reason I put the toned color on is because this butterfly is in the background. Our center of interest is the hibiscus. Butterfly is in the background. So then I'm going to find the matching butterfly, and I'm going to set it there together. Keep it out of my paint. And let's go with the very light green. I'm not going to wash my brush, but I am going to try to get as much out as I can. Also, another secret is that if you only have one stencil brush and you really want to change colors, like if you had black in it first and you want to go to a light color, then just take hand sanitizer and clean it out with that. Like, put it in the palm of your hand and brush around with it until you get all that paint out. or a baby wipe. Brushing it against a baby wipe will do it, and it won't wet your brush because you need a dry brush for stenciling. So let's go here to this light green color that we made. So I'm putting it in my brush, and I'm going to pounce it, all the extra out. Okay, let's line this back up again. And now I'm going to pounce this lighter color onto that butterfly. And there we go. Now I have some color and dimension in that butterfly. So easy. Great coverage on this black, you know. With a regular craft paint that you pay pennies for, you're going to end up using half that bottle and 5 or 6 coats to try and get the kind of color pop that you've got on here. So this makes sense. You save money in the long run by buying quality. So now I'm going to take my liquid pearls in key lime, and I'm just going to real quickly make an antenna to add that dimension. I can take my turquoise liquid pearl and I can add dots up here on the hibiscus. Add a little extra there. If I want to, I can outline it, but I don't want to because I think that takes away from this nice color pop. And then what I can do is take my perfect pearls, shake these up, and on the ATCs that I made last night, I had worked on them all day and up into the night, and I really oversprayed these. So I'm not as happy with them as I would have been if I had not oversprayed them. So I'm just going to use a lighter touch. I usually have a spray booth for this. I'm going to pull up on it. Now I got a couple of big globs, so to fix that, oops, watch your, because the liquid pearls aren't dry yet, so don't make a mistake that I almost made by sticking it on there and messing it up. So I'm going to stop with the turquoise on that. I blotted some of it down, and the key lime I'm going to hold way up above the camera and just spritz a couple of spritzes on there just to get that little shimmer. And now I haven't compromised the center of interest like I did on this one, and I have a much better product. Okay, and then when this is dry, what I did was I took Tim Holtz's let's see, the Chit Chat stickers, and found some things to say and put those on there. You can use anything. I just happened to take those because I knew where they were and they're easy to find in my stash. So there's an ATC, and what I like to do also, like I'll do this on this side, I like to take some white ink, and I got a stamp. It was at the Heirloom Stamp Show, and trying to remember whose booth I got this at. I'll look that up and put it in the blog. And I'm stamping this on white pigment ink with white pigment ink. I'll put this down. I'm doing it on my other ATC because the liquid pearls aren't dry on the one we just made. I already got my elbow in it anyway. Jeez. And then this is all your information on the back. Now, one thing that you need to remember, and that I also forgot yesterday, is that you have to dry this ink. Either wait hours for it to dry or dry it, because I got into mine yesterday and I smeared it. I didn't stamp it very well right there, did I? I might fix that later after I clean off the stamp with just that, and stamp just that edge. Now on this side, what I will do when the liquid pearls dry is I will put Deco Art Traditions satin varnish on it, because even though this pops really nicely, this is a matte finish, and I will put the varnish on because it'll really pull it up, and it's satin so that it doesn't have a glossy shine, because I don't like that, but it's just enough to really pop those colors some more. As a matter of fact, it probably would be better to put that varnish on before spraying and before doing the liquid pearls, but just for demonstration's sake I did it this way. So I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you again next Monday. Bye.